Hi guys, what's up, what's down, what's sideways? James here for day 87 of chronic fatigue syndrome. My friend, my enemy, my constant companion. Day 87. Wow. Um, so I thought maybe I'd share the silent Scrabble. Um, so having a chronic illness can be quite frustrating. And that's a really big understatement, but it can be quite frustrating. And you don't you don't always get to yell and scream and shout and throw a tantrum and flail about and destroy things as a methods of expressing this frustration, because it's that kind of level of frustration on um well, I'll speak for myself at least, on a pretty permanent constant basis. There's always that underlying frustration of there are things I want to do, there are things I have to do, and right now I'm not doing either. Uh, and it's this, and then because you can't, there's no point kicking and screaming about it, but there's this silent internal Scrabble for um, keeping on top of it and mitigating that frustration and trying to be logical and trying to get your um, the rest of the hours of your day better sorted. And yeah, it's hard work. It's really hard work. Like when people go on about how bad it is to have chronic fatigue syndrome or any chronic illness, I get it. I know, I can see the appeal in voicing it. I can see the appeal in just, there's no other way for me to express it other than I'm just going to like say how bad it is, or what I'm missing out on, or like, this is awful. Why do I have to deal with this? Um, so I see the appeal in it. I don't, as you know, I don't agree with it as a, it's just become, I don't agree with it once it goes past, just expressing yourself, and it just becomes more like, sinking into that bottomless pit of woe and going, woe is me. Like, that's not productive. There's up to a certain point productive, after that it's not productive. However, I do see the appeal in it. I do understand the appeal. Regardless of whether or not it has a productive outcome, meh. But I see the appeal. Um, so like today, my morning was productive. I had a coaching session. I was able to meet up with someone, a successful business person, and further what they'd been doing with me with a practical mindfulness and our martial art program. And so that was, anyone could look at that and go like, that was really productive. Like, yeah. And then I came home. I think I know I had something to eat. And then I did something for an hour. And then the next 5 or 6 hours are a write-off. I was just, I'm very good at pushing myself and pushing myself. But the thing about pushing yourself is like, you can keep pushing yourself, but if you stop, then you kind of like, you hit the wall, kind of stop. Or your body gets to the point where like, by the way, this is what's happening now. And it stops you, for you. So like the next 5 or 6 hours were just a write-off. And then after that, I'm still in the throes of that crash. And so nothing productive happens, and then I don't remember the next couple of hours. So it can be kind of scary. Well, I sometimes find it scary if I overthink it too much. Whereas like there's portions of my day where I don't, I wasn't mindfully there. I checked out. And then I came back in, and now, it's almost midnight. And I haven't done the other things like. Forget, wanting to go out and do anything. I hadn't done the other things that I wanted to do to set my week up. So it gets really frustrating because I have this kind of, this is where I want to be, and this is where I am, and the gap, the divide between these 2 points is what I find frustrating. It frustrates me a lot. And yes, people will go like, don't have expectations. If you don't have expectations, you can't be disappointed. Rah, rah. Slight cop out, I feel. Disappointment's a part of, being disappointed is part of life. You deal with it. I'm really frustrated. Very frustrated, but I will deal with it. I have to deal with it. My choices now is I can get stuck in, because the thing about crashing for so long, and then when you kind of come back into being aware, is that you're awake. So I'm in that weird kind of, I don't know if I put myself to bed now whether or not I can go to sleep, because you crash so hard, and then you spend so much energy trying to bring yourself out of that state when you come out of it, and then over the course of hours, you're like, oh, God, you're trying to wake back up, and then by the time you wake back up, it's midnight, and you got to go back to bed. So, but that comes from learning about, like, the resolution to that comes from like learning about your body, learning ways of making sure that doesn't happen. Was there something today that was external that happened that I could try and reduce or remove next time? If it was just a CFS thing, then cop it on the chin. If it wasn't, okay, was there anything external that I have control over? Because if there's something external that I have control over, then I can make some changes. If I don't have any control over anything external, or it was just a CFS thing, then I have to accept that it was like, that's just how my day turned out. If I've got something crucial I've got to do, then I should just go do it. Better to get to bed to try and keep my sleep patterns some sort of regularity, with to have some sort of regularity, and then when I get up, just get into it. So the frustration is this, like, yeah, you can just kick and scream and shout and then you start internalizing and get this silent frustration that just, you want to tear I want to tear something. So, like, you've got all this frustrated energy, this frustrated energy. And the thing about it is that frustrated energy, it's energy, so it could be directed somewhere else. So I could, keep a hold of this frustrated energy and hold on to it really long, or I could go like, let's redirect it. What are you going to do? Alright, it's this time. You haven't made your video. Sit down, have a think. What are you going to make your video on? Okay, make your video. Alright, that's one of the things you want to get done today. Okay, you've got, it's this time of night. You don't want to engage too much, but is there something that you can put together that you've been thinking about, that you've already done thinking about, that you just physically do? It's not going to really wake your brain up. Can you do that for another half hour? Because maybe that half hour will help you tomorrow. Okay, let's do that. All right, I've done that. I wind down. I've wound down. I've done movement. I'm going to go to bed, and I'm just going to relax. And I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to go to sleep. All I'm going to do is just, pretend I'm going to go down and lie down for a nap or something like that. I'm going to just lie down, and maybe I'll daydream, or maybe I'll just relax. If I don't want to daydream, then I will just clear my brain and just sit there. But I'm not going to put the pressure on me to go to sleep. I'm not going to add more pressure. I'm already worked up because of that frustration. I don't need to add to it. But now that I've identified that I've got that frustrated energy, I need to direct it. I'm going to put that energy into something productive. So it's really frustrating, but I don't have to hold on to it. If you're really frustrated, you don't have to hold on to it. there's nothing gained by holding on to that frustrated energy. It's not productive. You're not doing anything with it. You're just reminding yourself how frustrated you are. So, and it's sometimes like, yeah, it can be a trap because it feels good to hold on to it. You know, like you feel alive, even though you feel bad, you feel alive, and we don't always get to feel alive. So if I hold on to this frustrated energy, I get to feel alive, and it's not productive alive feeling, but it's still alive feeling, still maybe better than what I felt today, but it's not positive or productive or conducive to my health or ongoing plans. And that's where you got to kind of weigh it up. So today was very frustrating for me. However, after I expressed that frustration, like, okay, what are you going to do now? You know, don't hold on to the frustration, just let it go. Pop, let it go. Bye. Okay. So, yeah, that silent internal Scrabble where you can know like, you know, like inside it's like, it is very frustrating, guys and girls. If you got any comments or questions, would like to share anything or introduce yourself, please do so below. I will get back to you. If there's something you don't like, share it. You know, don't throw stones at people, but definitely voice, like if I say something and you're like, James, and then whatever. That's fine. That's how conversations can start, you know. Maybe I will learn something or you will learn something from having that conversation. Don't know until it happens. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and thank you very much for letting me share with you day 87.